The Game Boy Advance Consolizer. We've taken a look at this little device on a previous video. If you want to go check that out, link will be in the description. But essentially what it is, it's a consolized Game Boy Advance that you could just plug into your modern TV through HDMI and get gaming with a Super Nintendo controller. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. It is pretty cool. It does use an original Game Boy Advance motherboard in order to do this, so it is original hardware. Now, for the longest time, I have been playing Game Boy Advance games on my channel quite a bit in the past, and a lot of people would always bring up, hey, why are you not embracing Game Boy interface? And I never really knew where to begin with that, but recently I did get that set up on my GameCube, so I am using a standard version on a memory card for the system that's pre-installed with the software, so I just have to use another game to boot into that. So today we're going to be comparing the two because a lot of people have said this is probably going to be one of the best comparisons to the Game Boy Advance Consolizer versus other options. I know we can emulate, we can do all that good stuff, but as far as original hardware goes on our modern displays, this is where it's at. So we're going to be pitting the Game Boy Advance Consolizer, playing a couple Game Boy Advance games against the Game Boy interface. Now, we do have HDMI on the Consolizer, so we are going to be using HDMI on the GameCube as well to try to keep it an even comparison. So during this video, I'm going to be playing a couple games here for you guys. Just quick little clips. Everything will be clearly marked. I will not be speaking during the footage. Just want you guys to see it and hear it. And then at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and give you guys my thoughts and impressions on these two options, talk about price, cost, all those kind of things. So let's go ahead, start taking a look at the footage.
3, 2, ready, fire. Four laps to go. You've got a new booster. Three, 2, ready, fire. 4 laps to go. You've got a new booster. Three, 2, ready, fire.
Okay guys, so there was your little comparison, the Game Boy Advance Consolizer versus the Game Boy Interface Standard Edition. Both options definitely look great in my opinion. Very minor differences with color that I did notice between the two, but nothing crazy drastic. So the biggest thing is going to be price point. What do these options cost? And the Game Boy Advance Consolizer definitely is a damn expensive, setup. If you want it pre-done and already put together and you just get it at home and pop in your games and go, that's $350 for a pre-modded system. A very hard pill to swallow for some people, but some people are like, you know what, screw it. I appreciate the convenience. I'm willing to spend the money. Hey, more power to you, but it definitely is expensive. You can keep that cost down by just buying the kit and doing the work yourself. It's between 140, 180 bucks depending upon options. If you could do it yourself, cool, you're saving some money. If you need to pay somebody to mod it, it's an additional cost, but you should still be below that $350 price point. The one person I always recommend for mod work is Dragon's Horde Gaming. He's done a lot of work for me, and I've been very happy with it. The turnaround time, the quality has been great. He has been advertising he's doing the Game Boy Advance Consolizer mod and is keeping your cost well below that $350 pre-modded price point, so that's a good thing. I'll put a link in the description if you want to hit him up, not just for this, but any other kind of mod work. Definitely check him out. But to get the Game Boy interface set up, I'm very new to this, guys. This is something that a lot of people have been bringing up to me for a while. Why aren't you on the Game Boy interface? What the hell's wrong with you? And finally, I embraced it, right? So there's plenty of different ways to go about using this software, getting boot discs made, using Swiss, memory cards, SD cards. There's all sorts of different options. I have not looked into all of them. I went with what was the simplest route for me at the time, and I got a memory card, a GameCube memory card that has the software pre-built into it. I just have to use another GameCube game to boot into the software. People sell these memory cards I see all the time between like 15 to 20 bucks just for a standard version with nothing else on it, none of the Swiss stuff and all the other hacks and whatnot. So to me, hey, I mean, it's a little bit of a cost. You could always get somebody to clone it for you or set it up for you if you don't know how. But the other thing too is you could use like a Swiss disc and all that stuff. That's an additional cost if your system is not already modded to play burned discs. So that's something to keep in mind. But that aspect of it, I'm pretty much looking at as a zero cost because the software is free. You just got to figure out how to get it on your system, right? And there's plenty of resources out there. The additional cost is just going to be having a GameCube and a Game Boy player. Game Boy players and GameCubes are very cheap, especially the Game Boy player if it does not come with the Game Boy player disc. Both of these options, the Consolizer and interface, do a hell of a lot of better job than the standard software that the Game Boy player comes with. So I'm not even really looking at that today. We've already looked at that before, and these two options blow that out of the water. So you're looking at that, a reasonable price on that end. But to get that HDMI output, you do have several options on your GameCube, whereas the Game Boy Advance Consolizer, it's already modded with HDMI out. Just plug and play, boom, you're gaming. The GameCube, you're just gonna have to look at different options. Today we went through HDMI using a GC video mod. I have it internally modded. I also have an Eon GC HD Mark II, which is $150. Insurrection, they do make their version, the Carby, which is 75 bucks. So that's a lot better than $150 for some people. Pros and cons between the two devices. We've looked at them on the channel. Take a look at my previous videos if you're interested in that. They both essentially accomplish the same thing. But if you want to play your Game Boy games, your Game Boy Advance games through HDMI on a modern TV, through a GameCube, that's something you will have to look at. If by chance you have the crazy ass expensive component cables, an OSSC, a FrameMeister, a RetroTink, you're good to go on some pretty nice visuals. So if you're already set up, cool. I mean, maybe that's already made up your mind as far as what the best way for you to play these games are. But today I just wanted to look at Game Boy Advance games in HD. couple options here. The Game Boy Advance Consolizer, it was lent to me for purpose of review. I have to send it back. I did hold on to it a little longer just so I could do this video. But knowing that I have to send it back and I have this Game Boy interface set up, I'm very happy with this option. I am going to miss the Game Boy Advance Consolizer. I really do like the system. I like how it's set up, the simplicity of it, the options, all that good stuff. You can take a look at my previous review on it. So I am going to miss the thing. Eventually, when I got some money set aside, I will buy a kit and get it modded for myself and go about it that way, because I do want to have one. But not having it, I'm content with the Game Boy interface. It's really amazing seeing what could be done. It cannot be understated looking at that compared to the original Game Boy player. Maybe we'll do a separate video on that, the original software. Wow, such a difference. And I know there's a lot of tweaks you can do with the Game Boy interface, but my setup is just the standard version with no tweaks or anything to it. But I'm very happy. So hey, I hope this video helped. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You mean the world to me. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers because of you guys. So I'm very appreciative of that. Hey, we might be able to hit it by the end of the year. Hey, with your help, we probably can. So share the shiz out of my channel. I really would appreciate it. You guys have been helping me greatly. So I'm very, very happy and thankful for that. So with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-byes, and boom, big ass thumbs up. Bye.